Hangout on air is live. Except Google never times it right, so we gotta give it like a 10-second interval. And I hope now it's good. So, Mech-Hop Mondays, episode 40. Episode 39 was shitted by copyright claims, so I hope you were there to see the back-to-back. It was very fun. But Scott couldn't make it anyway, so the episode basically didn't matter.
Well, I was just so sad because, like, I went to go watch. I was, like, stoked to watch the back-to-back, like, all three of you guys, and it was, like, copyright claim. And
yeah, dude, I was so pissed. I looked back. I got a notification from somebody, and they were like, or maybe actually it may have been on my email. It may have been like, due to a copyright claim, your video has been muted. I was like, come on, dude. Like, the one time we really have fun on the fucking stream and do something different, it's like, no.
Dude, how ironic would have that been if it would have been like one of your tunes or Tanner's tunes?
Yeah.
You know, like
it was literally the first track was the one that got spotted. Yeah, literally the opening track. That Tanner.
Which track was that?
It was Megalodon. I forget which Megalodon track it was. I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah, very, very angry react.
I wish, like, now that they have those on Facebook, I wish you could angry react on, like, I get really disappointed when I can't sad or angry react on, like, Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, like...
That's a new level of depth to your interactions, dude.
It is, man. All we were asking was for a dislike button. And we got the reacts.
They just threw 7 options at you.
Hi, Callie.
Oh, yeah?
Hi. Look at her.
Slides in with the dank memes.
Yeah. No, she comes in, she's like, breaking news, Porter Robinson has a girlfriend.
Damn.
It's lit.
Listen here.
Can you...
It is.
Now, out of here.
Yeah, can you just get the fuck... I see Skins and Monks drama. No dubstep drama on today's episode. Sorry. Now I want to listen, but also I'm not completely against the idea of going to sleep to your voice, IDK. Oh, Michael. It'll be all right, buddy. These things are saved on YouTube, so
where's Necro?
if you want to go back, you can go back.
Yeah, just keep loading up this episode so you can fall asleep.
Yeah.
The sweet sound of Colin's voice, dude. Like...
You can wait until it's over and just keep constantly reloading the page and get my view count way up if you want.
before you go to bed, yeah.
Milestones.
Drama. Let me get. No, yeah, that's not gonna happen. The only drama that I'm involved in is the drama section on Netflix.
Yes. Deep.
Literally.
Netflix drama section.
Did you watch the new Rick and Morty episode?
I only saw a little bit of it. No, I didn't get to see the full thing.
It was really, really well done.
I heard that it was like the best episode yet.
I think it might be my favorite, other than like the like TV, like the intergalactic TV one. That will always be my favorite.
The Zorpazor field. Stop it. Give me some freaking chimichangas.
Just answer my eyes, Johnson. Like,
yeah.
I can't believe.
Also, I can't feel. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I can't feel a thing. On.
See, that's promotional goals for music for sure.
Yeah. Straight up, answer my eyes, Johnson. All right, let me pull up these questions. Get right to it.
Bloop.
Oh, I heard that young FL boot up. Classic.
Yep.
I think that's the only DAW that has a cool sound when you load it up.
Yeah,
It's about to
it's
go
so
down.
nostalgic too. Like literally, I'm gonna hear that like 20 years from now and like break down and like think.
And we have SD.
Stereo separation in FL. Well.
First one.
Wow.
First one we got. Actually, first one that was from Uganda, but
All right. Well,
didn't.
a lot of what I do for stereo separation, you won't be surprised to know, but I do use the stereo on the Vector FX module within FL. I'm just trying to think of stuff in FL that I use for stereo shaping because lately I've been using like Ozone for a lot of that since Robbie got me on that. The stereo shaper is really, really nice. I like using that for 808s, actually, in particular.
Wow. Stereo shaper on 808s.
I do, yeah, because I'll layer one with that's stereo with one that's mono.
And then I assume on the stereo one, you like cut the lows out or something like that.
That's the one that has the more like low mid end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
So that's what I use for that. But
There's
I mean, it's as simple as doing the knob too, man. Like I do some stereo separation by instead of just having it down in the middle between merged and separated, I'll put on like maybe like I guess 11 o'clock, like 10% stereo separation, and it can add a lot, especially with a dimension expander on it. Just makes your sound like so big.
Dimension expanders can definitely be a good way to do that. Yeah, I was gonna say also mid-side processing is pretty important when it comes to your stereo image too. If you don't have one of those plugins, a lot of DAWs standardly do have some kind of, whether it's on an EQ or something like that, they do have independent mid-side processing. And basically the more you mess with just a side signal, like the wider the sound is going to be. So Aspects here is saying I copied one initial massive preset 2 times to make it stereo, like pan left and right.
That's a really good way to do it. I don't do it that often, but I know Fizo does that a lot. He does 2 different channels in FL generally, or 2 different channels. He'll have one going on the left, one on the right, and that's how it's done. That's really nice for drums too, like cymbals.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it can also be like you could do something such as if you bounced your sound to audio or something and you started working with it in audio, you could duplicate it so that there's 2 of them and pan one hard left, one hard right, and then just put like slight phasing or some kind of modulation on one of them, and it just super separates them. Like you can A/B it before and after you put the effect on one side, and you'll just hear so much of a widening difference because any kind of change that you do from the left signal in opposition to the right is going to set them way further apart. So
yeah, that's the only reason why I can't. Well, I can grasp that. It's just like I don't usually do that because it takes a lot longer because I like putting like different effects on each channel, and it becomes really like even if you get it close, it's not perfect. And like when you're doing electronic music, it's like you try so hard to do it perfect.
Well, I don't know. There are so many different ways to go about stereo width. Like it could even be, I don't know. There are some like straight up imagers that will push things more into the sides, and then like you can use mid-side EQing after that to really tweak like what frequencies are going to be popping out and which frequencies are going to be staying kind of dead center. Because center is going to be where a lot of your power is. Like mono signals typically have a lot more weight because they're hitting both speakers the exact same way. So essentially they're like multiplied in volume as opposed to a stereo signal.
Yeah.
So I would just say definitely worry about your mono in addition to the sides, because without one, there really isn't a distinction to the other.
Mm.
For the second part of your question there, which is kind of what I was just touching on, what did he say? He said, and how to make a mix sound good in mono. That draws back to the technique that I actually learned from TDE's engineer. TDE is Top Dog Entertainment, really, really good hip hop stuff. And he said that he almost entirely during the mixing process is mixing in mono. So basically what that means is you can put like a utility gain on your master track and you just fold the entire track to mono. And basically the concept behind that is that you're no longer the stereo field gives you way more separation between sounds, so you're not hearing as much of conflicting frequencies and stuff like that when you're in stereo. So when you fold it to mono, you hear how everything sums up completely, volume and like masking wise, not maxing wise. So basically it just gives you a better idea of like the relative levels of everything. So I would say if you're looking for a mix that sounds good in mono, definitely either mix in mono or intermittently reference your mono fold and see what you're liking, what you're not liking, and what can be done better. Because when you think about it, not a lot of like phone speakers are stereo. So if you make it sound good in mono, people that are just scrolling through their feeds on their phone are gonna hear like a good mono mix and be like, "Damn, this track is sick." And
It's so sad when you have like really stereo aspects and you try to listen to it on your phone and it, like that's like absolutely destroyed by your phone speaker.
Yeah, your mid range is just like 10 decibels lower than your drums or whatever.
It's like it almost makes you want to do like an entire mix down rework when I hear that. It just sucks. Yeah. Actually touching on that too, like Michael asked if he didn't fall asleep to your voice yet, how do you prevent phase issues while layering 2 808s, you fucking wizard? I love how he called me a wizard. That was nice. It's actually like really simple. I usually mix it in mono, like the 808, so you can pick that out immediately. And I don't know, I've built up like just I resample my 808s a lot, and I've like built up so many like nice samples now that like there's never really any issues. I'm just lucky. I also have like one in Massive that I made that's really sick. So
yeah, well, there's also if you make sure that your stuff is like phase restarting and everything, you can kind of tweak it that way and make it. If there are like major phasing issues, you can like.
Yeah.
Okay, Gaspix is saying, why do you resample 808s? If you resample them, then they're hitting all the effects the same way every single time. Like, especially if you're like distorting the 808 or something like that, it just makes it much more consistent. And if you're doing like voicing up and down, like note ranges and stuff like that on an actual MIDI signal, like as you go up, since you have like a high cut on your sub bass. So if you're going up in pitch, you're going to lose some of that, or I'm sorry, you're going to add some high harmonics. So it's going to like bubble if you go up notes, as opposed to if you've resampled it and you're doing all your pitching that way, it's a like linear algorithm. So it's going to glide and everything.
That was like right on the dot, literally for because I really like my punchy, like with a lot of like low to mid end 808s. I really like them a lot. So resampling just has that immediately for one, without having to cut out all the high end, etc. But also like the main one was like moving it up an octave. That really sucks if you just use like a default 808 sample that hasn't been touched usually. At least I always have that bubbling kind of issue with it, so just it prevents the headache basically.
Yeah, resampling is, I don't know, the more I do it, the more I find it way more resourceful, because I didn't used to do a lot of resampling, but like the more you get into it, the more you understand like there are a lot of inconsistencies to be had with MIDI material and things of that nature. So you can get rid of that entirely by working with audio, as long as you have like a good sampler or a DAW that works with audio well, of course. But
That's why you're gonna be so stoked on the Ableton freezing. Like I'm just gonna like be like boop. There you go. Exact. It'll be the FL sound when I do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
When's the Rekoil X Subject 31 tour? Oh, we're hoping soon. We're hoping.
That'd be so sick. Really neat.
Whenever I have my first headlining tour, it's gonna be with Subject. Mark my words.
That'd be sick, man. Hell yeah. Yeah. Not too many details yet, but I'm now like starting. I'm getting back on another agency really soon here because my agent just joined another one. I'll give a hint. It's the one Collins on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just got a position there, so we'll see how that maps out. But that'll make something like that a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's
Yeah, I was going 6 months without an agency, and it just felt like I was with North Peak, which is nice. I'm still with them, but that's a management company, so it's nice to have everything like done professionally and more organized.
Yeah, it can definitely be a pain in the ass. After a certain point with your own bookings, it's like, fuck me.
It's way true, man. But yeah. Yeah, so that I'll get more details about that this week for both Colin and everyone. But I'll be actually by tomorrow I can hit you about that.
Yeah.
So that's when I'll find more.
Straso's saying, how do these phase issues come about? Is it the same thing I'm getting when I slap reverb on my bass synths, and when they change pitch, they canter over to left or right? I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but if you're talking about reverb on sub bass, not the way to go, generally speaking. That can definitely create phasing issues because sub bass you typically want to be fully mono when it's in this actual sub range, and anything that goes into the sides in that range is immediately going to create phasing issues, and reverb is like almost entirely side information.
Yeah.
Yeah, phasing issues can be completely independent of that too. They are way more apparent in low end because you're going to lose all of your weight if there's phasing issues in the low end. So like things like kick versus sub bass, that's where you're going to see, like, if you're really listening for it, you can tell like, oh, this kick is out of phase with the sub bass because there's no punch through. You know, if you don't line up the phasing correctly, then there's not going to be any kind of distinction there in that low end. I am performing in Philly with Subtronics and a bunch of other people.
That's a really sick show. Is that the like May 26th one?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I was in talks for that one, if I'm gonna be honest with everyone, but I didn't. I'm getting my visa sorted right now, which isn't. Yeah.
Bro,
so crappy.
If you're ever like in PA or New Jersey or New York or anywhere around there on the East Coast, you gotta hit me up. You're definitely coming through.
Definitely. I honestly, if I wasn't in school when I went to Montreal, like I literally had midterms that week, I would have tried to take like a bus down or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Montreal's not. It's like an hour or 2 hours away from New York.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's only like.
I'm used to like really bad travel days, so I would do anything, just provided I'm on the East Coast. I'm happy, man. Like.
Yeah. It's only like 6 hours from here to Montreal if you're taking a train.
Oh man, that's not bad at all. I would do that. Cause like this summer I'm even considering, just because I have a lot of friends who recently moved out to Vancouver, and that's like my favorite city on the planet. It's like probably just because of how BC's mapped out. Like if there wasn't mountains literally everywhere in BC, and there's like a straight line from Edmonton to Vancouver in a perfect world, it would be like maybe like a 12-hour, 10-hour drive, but it's like 20-hour drive. And I'm thinking of trekking the bus. Like I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll just like download some like fire movies, or I don't know, like Pokemon playthrough.
Plus, that has Wi-Fi and everything too.
Yeah, it would be a Greyhound. So yeah. Yeah, Ironhide's in Vancouver, eh? Yeah, holy shit. I always forget. Damn, dude. Yeah, no, 110%. I would link up with you if I went there. I don't know why. I knew you were Western Canada, but I thought you were like Saskatchewan or something. Like BC. No offense if anyone's from Saskatchewan, but BC is a little more preferable because I like oceans and lakes and mountains. We have prairies here too, so it's a nice change. We have really nice mountains in Alberta, but that's like it like as nice as BC, but it's like right by our border, so it's still a drive for me. BC is so dope.
I want to come back to Canada.
I know.
Such chill, cool vibes.
Really is, man. You need to be out here in the summer for once, though.
Yeah, I would love to, dude.
That'd be really cool.
I've still barely been in Montreal on the weather's
Yeah.
nice. Love to get out to Edmonton with the nice weather.
And actually see Edmonton a little more proper. It's actually getting nice here too. Like I'm not to put it down too much like from before, but like they're really expanding on our downtown. That's where we were kind of lackluster before. So it's nice to see that.
Yeah, we actually have nice weather here, but I don't think Baltimore is getting any more uppity.
It's honestly because we got a new hockey arena, like that new. It's like called the Ice District, is where like we're getting all of our new stuff. There's actually a really funny video about it, like on April Fools, just like about all the expansion they've been doing. And they're like, yeah, we're trying to put like Edmonton on the international map. So like we're gonna build the biggest statue in the world of Wolverine because he's a Canadian hero. And like there's like this 2-minute video on it, and it's hilarious. They even have like a dude from our city council saying like, I looked at it and I just knew it was right for our city. It'll bring a ton of tourism. I wish they were making a bigger than Statue of Liberty like Wolverine statue.
That'd be amazing. They got to do Deadpool too.
Yes.
Just get the whole Canadian crew out there, dude.
Deadpool would be insane, man.
So Straso's now saying he knows the reverb on sub rule. It's just when I put reverb on a melody line, it like randomly pans the sound around slightly when the note changes. It's just when the note changes, or is it like slightly shifting over time and like that's just correlating with your note changes? Because it could be something within the reverb that's like modulating it in the stereo image. It could be like, I know some reverbs have like a chorusy effect built in that sometimes you can turn off and stuff like that.
Is it also whatchamacallit, could that be like a delay that's just on the synth unawareingly, like ping pong? Because that literally sounds like just a bouncing delay that you get in like silence or something. Because their delays sound, especially in silence, if you put a ton of delay on it, it sounds so much like it has so much release like a reverb that I don't know. That's just, I doubt it's that, but like I would make that mistake too.
I'm still the odd man out that has never used silence.
Yeah. I'm still stuck on the silent. I love it, but I wanna get more involved in more like intro intro synth plugins, because that's been my fave for the longest time.
Yeah, I've been trying to like kind of get the engineering grips on how to like go about making nice airy synths and everything with post processing after like Massive or Serum and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is, it's definitely different than like bass sound design, that's for damn sure. But I don't know, I want to treat it the same way. I'm trying to learn how to make like everything I want ever. So it's got to be part of my process.
Me too, man. It's I love learning too. When when it involves music, school, I get a little grumpy, but it's fun.
Music, I like get excited at every new thing I learn. So like I don't know.
I abuse the hell out of stuff I learned. Like if I learned something that's like
It's
just
going
makes
on
life so much easier.
going on everything immediately.
Literally, man.
Until you prove yourself wrong on it.
Yeah, exactly. Or you find a new one that like makes things even like cooler, and it replaces that for you.
Yeah.
Every time, man. Every time.
Yeah. It's fire though. That's how you keep the learning curve going. You learn one technique and then you overuse it until you learn how to really use it properly, and then you're on to the next one.
Yeah, literally, man. And then like everything starts sounding like that, so you're like, okay, like
maybe it's
my new guy, my new bro. Oh man, I'm really sad to actually hear that, because I really wanted to go to that tattoo expo because I went last year. Sad
react only.
Literally. Literally sad react. It's so cool, man. You're like walking. It's at our like Northlands like expo center, and like I mean they'll have like our like Comic Con like kind of expo. It's like not as big as other places there, but they have like stuff like trade shows, blah blah blah, tattoo expo. They had like a Lululemon like just huge sale there. Like all their like extra stuff that they had, they were selling like for super cheap. So, but like the tattoo expo last year is sick. Like people were just getting tattooed, and there was like really just like tattoo artists from everywhere. There's people from, as you said, like the show Ink Master, and I've never watched it, but my sister's watched it, so she got to like meet people from the show. So I was super.
I'm not even tatted, but I loved Ink Master, dude. I just love art, so it was fucking awesome. I watched quite a bit of it because it was on Hulu for a little while, and then a lot of it expired. But
no, it didn't. It's all up there.
It's all
still up there. Yeah.
They were like, watch it. I'm gonna put this on there so people watch it.
Dude, we don't have Hulu in Canada. I would have watched it.
Oh my god, I always forget that, dude.
I know, man. When I was up in the States, like pretty frequently, I was watching Hulu a lot. Hulu and Hang for sure.
Hulu and Hang. All right, peace out, Gaspix. Thanks for being involved today.
Ooh, 1 a.m. Okay, man, no worries. Have a good sleep.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in. Dude, I just found a Subway gift card that I haven't used. That's pretty big.
Oh shit, I just used some Noodles and Company gift cards yesterday.
Hell yeah. See, it's not even peeled off. Like, this is the opening.
Gotta tweet the opening of it to Ray Volpe, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yo, dude, like, this probably doesn't work in the States, but I just thought I'd throw out that.
I'll let you know I'm boys. I'm boys with boys.
Yeah, literally. Love all the artists. Oh yeah, they're sick, man. They were really nice too. I felt a little bad because I never watched the show. My sister was meeting them, and I got to meet them, so that was cool.
Who did you meet?
What was his name? He's from Vancouver, I'm pretty sure. Actually. Trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Dude.
Like 9. Sure.
Sorry, Gally, I can't remember his name.
About his last name.
Somebody called him that when he was there, and he didn't
Yeah,
correct him.
yeah. So that was cool. The more you...
Man, like, I mean, not to put down our Comic-Con out here or whatever, it's not even called Comic-Con, it's just called Edmonton Expo. But, like, no, it's actually kind of sick. Like, we don't get, like, the best... kind of, but we don't get the best celebrities out there, like, as often as other places.
No Negri?
No, well, we did one time. I got a photo with her when I was like 17. Yeah, that was pretty huge. But
No.
I slid into the DMs immediately after. No.
I was like, hey, I'm that guy that just took a picture.
You've never heard that before, yeah. Oh man, no, it was actually funny. We were in like line for some food, and she like joined the line for food, and I'm like, and we actually talked with her. She was really cool. But but no, it was sick because Mark Meir, like voice of Commander Shepard, is from here, and like he also
there are big Canadian studios for.
Yeah, well, BioWare, like the one that didn't make Andromeda, but like the one that made the series, the studio.
The massive.
They're based in Edmonton. Like I've actually like when I was working at Best Buy, that was like kind of south of the city, and their studio's right by there. So there was actually like I'd see people come in from BioWare, kind of thing. They kind of flaunted a bit wearing an N7 or something because I would do the same thing.
Oh, this hoodie? Yeah, I was a part of the team.
You might have heard of it. But I'm in the gaming section too. But dude, like it was sick because like he was like literally just walking around the expo, and I'm like, why don't people like let's take a photo? I don't know why no one recognizes you right now. You're sick, because he's actually like a really good like actor in general too, and we have a fringe like a play festival or whatever at in the summer, and he did like an improv show that I went to with my friend, and it was actually really sick.
That's awesome.
He did. I'm trying to remember the name of the species. I'm like letting myself down right now, but he voiced an entire species in Mass Effect. They're like those kind of gremlin looking.
The like frog dudes?
No, they talk like this. I'm trying to. Oh no, Vorcha or Vorka. The Vorcha. Yeah. So he voiced an entire species for that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Before this episode ends, I actually want to make sure we have some time to go over this basic synthesis stuff that Android number 23 was asking about, and I figure it could be good. It is going to be the basics, people. I'm not going to show you machine gun based stuff, but this is just like intro to synthesis. I know I tried to do a video like this before with the fucking the thing that I have now. I only had a trial, so it only worked for like a few minutes, but
okay.
Hit this young screen share. We'll drag it up here. Come on. There it is. Okay. Boom. Massive. Let me turn my keyboard on here. And turn this down. Was that an RIP headphone users moment, or are we good?
Sounded great.
All right. Okay. So he wanted to know, especially in massive. So we'll just run through the basics here. This is your overall amplitude envelope. Your fourth envelope is always your amplitude, if you can see that up here. So assuming you know what an envelope does, release and everything, just as you tap a key, it'll get overwhelming, for lack of a better term. And then attack is just how quickly the signal comes in. And this is your routing here. So these bars on the side of each of these oscillators just basically correlates. You see the F1, F2 here. It just means that it corresponds with these filters. So filter 1, filter 2, obviously there. So that's your general routing. So if you were to, oh, by the way, this is a good key command actually. Holding Option or Alt and dragging down goes by octaves automatically, so you don't have to like, I don't know, do the tedious fucking match up your one semitone or whatever. So here, as an example with this filter thing, this is how far up the actual filter itself is, by the way. So this means the second filter is off. This means on. And this is the mix between the two. So I'll put that in the middle. And you'll hear, if I put a low pass on there, and then I can switch it down filter 2. No more low pass. So that's your basic routing right there. And then this just means this is how the filters interact with one another right here. So on parallel, it means they're both running at the same time. Then you go up to serial, and that means that filter 1 is going to run through filter 2. So if you were to load up a high pass after the low pass, and you can low pass and high pass at the same time. It's a makeshift band pass. It's lit. Yeah, and that's pretty much your basic routing. And then these are your wavetables here. You can just scroll through, see which ones you like.
Polysaw.
And then your mod oscillator down here. You always want to keep that on like octave pitches too, for the most part. And that's just gonna, the 1, 2, and 3 here just means your oscillator, which oscillator is having this applied, and like it can do weird stuff to your oscillators. So it's worth, I mean, a lot of this stuff, there's not necessarily a way you can like super talk it out, but you kind of just gotta go in and feel it out. But dubstep, am I right? And then these are just your effects, and below here on these inserts are basically effects that directly correspond with a filter. So standardly, if you were to put this on, then it's just affecting after the low pass and before the high pass here. Since it's serial filtering, you have filter 1 going into filter 2. That means it's filter 1, insert 1, and then filter 2, insert 2. So that does mean if you were to put an insert on insert 2 when it's serial filtering, it will cover filter 1 and 2 at the same time. Yeah. But that's like the very minimal basics of what I could show you. And then voicing is just going to be strengthens up your signal, and you can do things that'll give it stereo width, like pan position. If you're in headphones right now, you'll be able to hear that, I'm sure. It just separates it. You can see right here it says middle is mono, right? And then what that basically does is that's taking the individual voices here. We have 11 on this sound right now, and each one of those is getting moved to a different place in the stereo field, so it just widens it. The voices are just duplicates of the wavetable, essentially. So this sound right here, now you have 11 instances of it, and that works for all of these. So your overall sound, the amount of voices that you have, is going to be how many times it's multiplying for the most part. That's why it gets louder also when you put the voices up.
Yep.
yeah, and then you have a little shitty knob EQ here that gives you no idea the actual frequency, so you got to go by ear for the most part on this. But yeah, the frequency knob, obviously you select your frequency range, and then this boost is going to either boost that frequency range or when it's in the middle, it's standard. So this is subtracting that frequency range, and this is adding that frequency range. And then the high shelf is just you boost or tuck in your high highs, and the low shelf you boost or tuck in your low lows. And that's literally the simplest run through I can give you. Beyond that, the thing you need to know is that your basic waveforms that make up everything are your squares, your saws, and your sines and triangles. Those are like the basic of anything. So yeah, I would say play around with that, and like, I don't know, I guess the detuning also here. So this is the same concept as the voicing with the pan position, but this just slightly detunes them, so you get like some phasing. I'm gonna sound up a few octaves here. You can hear it a lot better this way. So basically it's taking each of these individual 9 other voices from the standard, and it's just slightly putting them up or down in pitch depending on how far you take it. But it gives you like a natural phasing and blah 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 kind of sound. So beyond that, you just got to learn like what your filters are and which filters are doing what and give you what kind of outcome. And I don't know, fuck with noise if you want. I don't do noise too much on sounds.
I don't either.
But anyway, you know, that's about the basics of it. I'll go more in depth on another episode too. I want to like redo that actual full-on synthesis where I like compared synths and everything episode for you guys.
I gave that a watch there. I liked it.
Yeah, it just wasn't like full quality through the computer, so I'm sure it was like a pain in the ass for most people. And then you can't like really, I mean, recording through laptop speakers, like you can't hear any of low end information at all. So yeah, I would just suggest, I mean, that's like, when I do the later episode, you'll see how it correlates to synthesis in general over multiple actual soft synths, but it's not too tough. It's just learning where to go once you have the basics is going to be how you start formulating your own sounds and stuff like that. So that's why I tend to stay away from doing like, oh, this is how to make my bass exactly, because like if you don't learn your own kind of algorithm, then you probably won't ever have your own sound. Unless you really, really, really start digging in after that point. But I feel like it kind of, there's not much incentive when you already know the end product of what you want to get and everything. There's no real incentive to learn like why and how you got there. That's not to say that it's not valuable having stuff like that to build off of, but I'm insecure, man. I don't want people stealing my shit.
Straight up.
Maybe show FM synthesis at some point. Totally. Yeah, in the first video I did on the basics of synthesis, I did a little bit with FM8 and a tiny bit of FM within Serum, which Massive does have some FM capabilities, which I'll also talk about, but they're just not nearly as strong as an actual FM synth or even Serums. So more on that later.
On the next episode of Mech-Hop Mondays.
Yeah. That'll be the day we have the post-production to hit those videos. I want Madron Talkling. Yeah, same.
Madron Talkling. I didn't even read it out that way. That's amazing.
Madron
Madron tackling.
contemporary speaking, dude.
Yes. That's one of my favorites by you still. Just because I saw the video of you playing it like a while ago. That killed me, man. Because it just killed me because you're like flipping out during the intro. Like you're like going hard to it.
Yeah, some people were trying to go along too, and some people like were like, "What?"
It's amazing, man. Yeah, that's great.
About that life back in the day. That was good. Man, that's funny that you saw that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite videos. Honestly, like of live shows, just from like producers in general, it killed me. Cause I do the same thing. Like if I made like a joke like intro track, I mean I have, but not like a simplistic one. I would have just been like I would like take off my hat and be like
banging.
Like go and stand on like the table by the decks. Call the 1, 2, 3, 4 and jump on. Alright guys, it was dope chilling for man, it was dope chilling as well. I keep forgetting you live in Vancouver. I'll let you know if I head out there. I've been wanting to for a while. It's just need the time. If I get a show out there, that'd be super ideal because then that just is on the planner.
I'd hit up your local.
Bro, you want to hang? Like, hit up your local promoters then, dude. Yeah. Like, no.
You can't hang unless your promoters have been DM'd.
It kills you,
man. Somebody was asking about Ableton actually too. Don't remember who it was in the Mech-Hop Militia Facebook group. I don't know if they're still in here. I think it was Brandon Fitzgerald actually. Brandon Fitzgerald, it was. I don't know if he's in here. His alias always slips me. Ilval. Maybe he's not in. I don't know. I'm still not even the best person to ask about Ableton advice just because I've like just started messing with it. Yeah, I would just say key commands. There's some major ones. Command D to duplicate any region you highlight, which is everything to me. And then Command Shift M for MIDI, for a MIDI region, and whatever you highlight as well. That's how Ableton works, dude. You literally highlight regions, and then you can key command whatever the hell you want to do within that region. It's just godly. Command T to make a new audio track, Command Shift T to make a new MIDI track. And that's like all the ones I use as of right now. But they're all like prime, dude. Super, super good shortcuts. And then in another episode, I'll try and help you guys out with what I know of Ableton, since that's a lot more universally applicable within the fan base than Logic is, because nobody fucking uses Logic.
True. I was talking. You've heard Gannon's music, possibly, right? Or yeah. He uses Logic. I didn't know that. So I found one for you,
dude. Do with it as you may.
right as you switch. I finally found one.
They just released 10.3, a Logic update that looks really good, but it's literally my OS and down cannot get the upgrade, and I've heard that there are compatibility issues with like Yosemite and up of an system on that. So,
do you think you're gonna use like them like proportionately, or do you think you're gonna just like try and shift over to Ableton? Because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet.
Yeah, I really don't know. I do like Logic still for some things, and I did toy around with the possibility in my head about producing in Ableton and mixing in Logic, just because I really, really dig Logic's mixing.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, it might just end up being all done in Ableton.
Whatever the future brings, kind of thing. However
Yeah,
you're feeling.
yeah, because stemming out your own song to mix your own song is just kind of like, it seems semi counterintuitive unless like,
Very true. I yeah, no, like unless you feel like you really want to mix it down in Logic kind of thing or master it, that's the only way I could like really consider
but
that
that's
happening.
still getting used to the mixer window on Ableton. I do still definitely prefer Logic's mixing window just because it's way more like visual and in depth. But I don't know. I can figure it out. I can totally figure out Ableton. I've no doubts in myself. I am strong. I am
You
a strong
you
robot.
you have gained the logic.
Yes.
Years of logic.
Even if I'm not using Logic, I will be using Logic.
Exactly. You're Ableton to use logic.
God, so funny. So damn funny.
Always, dude. Always.
Sometimes I have to bounce a few things out to save up CPU. Yeah. That's another thing with resampling, dude. That's another of the very, very good things about resampling is the fact that you save so much CPU when you're working, especially on intensive sounds or sounds that you heavily, heavily process. You bounce it down to audio, and it's using like zero computing power at that point. So,
Exactly.
yeah, as long as you like, I normally keep the MIDI source in the project too. If I am rendering it to audio for the same project, I definitely keep the MIDI source just because like sometimes you want to like bounce out a quick different iteration of it to be able to play around with as well. And I think that's pretty invaluable. Also, that's another thing. If you have any mastering techniques, I'd love to know about those because I do struggle. It's really tough, dude. It honestly, like, there will be some tips and tricks that you can pick up from videos online and from people telling you, but a lot of it is feeling it out. But I would just say the main thing is you want to get the mix to sound good before you worry about like how the master is turning out, because without a good mix, like a good master is not going to happen. You're not going to take something that sounds all right and master it and have it be like, fuck, dude, like the best engineering ever, you know?
Good save.
Yeah. I don't know. In the mixing process too, that's where you want a lot of the stylistic and like the emphasis and everything to come from. It's not like you're going to get your song. You can't, like, for instance, write something out and not mix it and expect even the best engineer to get something crazy loud out of it, because the loudness does really start in the mix. It's about how you're compressing individual elements and how you're setting them in within one another and the frequency ranges overlapping and stuff like that. So the best thing I could tell you, which is what I've been doing, because I'm by no means like an engineer by nature. I just started engineering really like the past couple of years. But I had a lot of music knowledge to apply to it already. So just work on your mixes. Look up stuff mix-wise. If you have questions about compression and where to use compression and stuff like that, look it up. Like, look up compressor tutorials for like maybe a good compressor that you know or something, or even like there will be like product demo videos. Like if you have some third-party plugin that you're getting, like I got the Glue compressor by Cytomic, which I absolutely loved in Logic. It's built into Ableton, of course, but Like that was one where you can like look up the demo videos of it and even look up other people using it, like look up tutorials on it, and even something as simple as a search query for like compression tutorial logic for me would be like something I would look up. And then you take information from that and try and kind of apply it and practice it and stuff like that. Start listening. Another thing is like podcasts and stuff like that. If you listen to podcasts with engineers that know what the fuck they're doing, as opposed to like this average YouTube dude that's like, I turned the knee down on my compressor because it was a knob that I could turn. Like you don't want to listen to people like that. Just make sure you're looking for information that can be completely backed and it's somebody that you can completely trust, and take that kind of information and multiply it and
By 31 times.
yes, multiply it 1 times exactly, and you will be a master.
You will be master. This isn't even my final form, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, that about sums up the episode for today. As always, if you guys have questions, I leave the Facebook group link in the description to this video on YouTube. So if you're too lazy to go there, it's www.facebook.com/groups/Mech-Hop Militia. And if you get in there, just make posts to us. Me and Scott are always connected there. So if you want to post your own content or post questions and stuff like that, we love taking suggestions early on for stuff that we can touch on in these streams in the future.
That's actually a really good idea.
A Discord server, huh?
I haven't really touched that app enough, but I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I will definitely look into it because I've been hearing a bunch about Discord, especially like gaming wise and streaming wise and stuff like that. I've heard it's very, very good.
Yeah, because I got added like Ben's Mixer made one, and like I haven't looked in it enough, but they chat in it a lot. And then now recently, like Dub Rebellion just started doing one, and I was like, oh, this is a thing. And then like I see like gaming websites talking about it too, so
right,
it's a big thing.
How about this? Just keep your eyes on the Facebook group. We're gonna look into getting a Discord server for us going. I think that could be cool. We'll keep you all posted on that. But thanks for tuning in. 40 fucking episodes, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn. That's huge, man.
It's been very real. We'll see you next week. Thank you.